I have a 25-year-old Craftsman LT1000 lawn tractor with a bent or partially broken front axle. This is affecting the left-hand spindle assembly and the steering. It's very evident here. Let's fix it. Here are some images taken from my 25-year-old Sears owner's manual. This is the front of the tractor. The part that is broken, or is breaking, on my tractor is the axle assembly, part number 2. On my tractor, the part that is damaged is pretty much where the number 2 is pointing. To gain access to this part, there are a few things I need to remove, starting with the hood, followed by this heat shield. On my tractor, because it has a snowblower attachment for winter operations, I also have to remove that. Now I've already removed the snowblower here, but this part is called the pivot support. I've got to pull it out of the way as well. With the pivot support out of the way, I can now remove this shield. Which I discovered also supports the exhaust. Now I can dig into the tractor, starting with the removal of the rod tie wire from where it connects with the right-hand spindle assembly. Here I'm moving the left-hand spindle assembly to show the damage to the axle assembly that I'll be replacing. This is a weld I did about 4 years ago in an attempt to repair the problem then. Now, to be fair to me, I could have done a better job had I removed the axle, but that didn't happen at that time. In any case, this time I'm replacing the axle. Here I'm removing the link drag extended stamp, stupid name, essentially the steering linkage connecting to the left-hand spindle assembly. The next thing I do is to start to loosen the bolts that hold the rear axle brace. The axle brace, which is really 2 parts, fit together to sort of clamp onto the axle assembly. The bracket suspension chassis in the front is clamped between them and will provide sort of like the foundation just below the axle assembly. This is the bolt that the entire axle pivots on. It holds both the bearing axle and the spacer axle.
Okay, well that's out.
Now I'm removing the 4 bolts, 2 on each side that hold the rear axle brace to the frame. Loosening these 4 bolts should allow the bracket suspension chassis in the front and the entire axle assembly to drop out.
Okay, so they're going to come loosen off or what? No, let's go to the other side. Okay, found it. Okay, got that off. This will come out now? I think it will. Let's get rid of this one first. Okay. So, let's get this out of the way.
Now, it may have been easier to first remove the left and right spindle assemblies, but I wanted to pull them apart on the bench. The 2 parts that just fell out are the bearing and spacer axles.
This is a repair I did 4 years ago. As this was starting to stretch out, I welded that up a little bit. I'm not the best of welders, and to be honest, this didn't actually take the arc very well. In any event, I'm replacing this piece now, so I'm going to take these apart. I'll give you a close-up of how bad this is in a little bit. Let's take it apart.
There are a handful of parts that make up the spindle assembly. Here I'm removing the ring clip.
So I've got all the parts removed from the axle, and I wanted to show you this end here. This is the end that's been damaged. It's been damaged for a number of years. This is a weld I did maybe 4 years back. It's pretty bad. And you can see there's a fair bit of play in here. And yeah, I'd probably keep going a few more years, but I'm going to replace this. This was 65 bucks. So I'll just pop a new one in and reassemble the whole thing. This one's not as bad. There's a little bit of play, but not nearly as much as the other side. And so as soon as this part comes in, we'll pick this video up and reassemble and put it back together. So this is kind of cool. Here's the 25-year-old Sears / Husqvarna part. And, you know, it's done well. Here's the replacement part. No idea who makes it or anything, but quite a bit thinner walls on this, I don't know what you call that. Just look at the difference between the two of them here. I mean, of course, the actual diameter is the same, but yeah, certainly not manufactured like the original. This just came off here, so I found the other one. So here's the new one of these. It's number 1. Followed by this, followed by the little thin guy here. Then it's going to get shoved into the axle, and then once the axle's in place, another one of these, like that, on the top, and then the new one of these, and then the new clip, which will go in there. So that's the order. We'll pump some grease into here, make sure everything's lubed, and then assemble. This one might be empty, I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second. Anything coming out?
Not yet.
I think I'm out of grease. Nothing at all, eh?
Nope. Oh, there it comes.
Little bit?
Now it's coming. Now it's out. You got lots.
Do I have lots?
Here I am adding some grease to the bearing axle housing. And then adding a little to the inside of the bearing axle and the outside of the spacer axle. Then I'll just add one more coat to the outside of the bearing axle before assembling the unit.
Okay, okay, this goes up in here-ish. This goes in behind it into those slots. There we go. Okay, stay. And this holds it in. There. Okay, that wasn't horrible. Let's try put this axle bolt in. Okay, so you have to be really delicate. Let's try it again. That goes front. Make sure bearings are still in. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, before I try to put that axle bolt in, I'm going to put in the one of the other bolts that holds the whole thing together, and I'll make sure I can get close. Okay, that's in. That's in. All right, let me just get one of these bolts, hold that in. There we go. Okay, that's not coming apart. All right, now we'll try this. Try this again. What is the chance I'm able to line that up? I can't even see it. Oh, I see. Ish, kinda. There we go. There's your suspension. Well, suspension's being a bit kind. That's perfect. That's really good. Good. I'll tighten that up in a bit. Come on. All right, there it is. It's in. Okay. Got to hold that in. How many the other tire there? I'll slip it underneath, see if I can hold it in. There. Stay. Now let's try to get this top one in. There she goes. It's in. Oh boy, that is a snug fit. Hasn't been like that in a while. You grab me the grease, the new grease cover, Lynn. Okay. There we go. Look at that. Like brand new. Let's go to the other side. What if it goes on top or underneath?
It goes on top.
I wonder which way it goes. I don't think it goes on top.
Yeah, it goes on top.
No, I think it goes underneath.
No, on top.
All right.
Let's waste some time now securing it upside down. What I'm not showing here is the geometry is all wrong to connect to the other side. I'll figure that one out in a minute.
So I did this wrong. It has to go the other way. So take this out. All right. Now we'll go the other way. There we go. Okay, that goes like that.
Here I'm connecting the steering connection. Sears calls it the link drag extended stamp. That's helpful.
Oh, look at that. Okay. So it looks like this heat shield goes on at the same time it holds the muffler on, like that.
This is the muffler protector, just a bent piece of tin held on with 2 bolts. Now I'm reassembling the accessories necessary to connect the snowblower. Incidentally, I'll be rebuilding the snowblower in the spring. It too needs some attention. Here you can see the mechanical levers to lift and lower the blower from the driver's seat. Notice a small piece of aluminum here. I use the aluminum to hold the locks open while I attach the blower to the tractor. Once the blower is attached, I remove the blocks and the springs lock down into place.
That should do it. That's good. All right, we'll lock that into place. Let's see here. Should just go like that. That's it. Yep, that's it. We'll hook up the headlights. Done.
This is the remote chute control, also manual. Another straightforward and quick repair. Hey, thanks for watching.